Good afternoon, super friends, and welcome to the Sunday, August 24th edition of the Sacred News and Weather. Thank you so much for being here. I'm unwilling to put down my delicious golden milk coconut milk latte, homemade decaf. Why bother? But it's 2:30 in the afternoon or 2:15 in the afternoon when I'm recording this. And if I had caffeine now, my already sleepus interruptus would be even more sleepus interruptusted. So decaf, but delicious decaf, and I don't want to put it down just yet. Today's message, I feel like I'm going to kind of take you wide and deep through a number of different layers of my life in some way, just to bring the message together because it came forward for me while I was sitting in an unchurch church service today. I think many of you know that I attend and sometimes preach, host, teach in a local community church that is very much in support of the divine feminine, the rebalancing of the divine masculine with the divine feminine, not the coming over the top of, but bringing them together, bringing them together. And today we had a guest preacher who was doing a Visio Divina. And what that is just a spiritual deep dive into, it's often done with scripture as Lectio Divina, but today it was a Visio Divina with her own nature photography. And she has these beautiful cards. Some of you may have done work with me like that before in retreats and things with her images. And she brought in images today, and we were meant to first place them on our chest and open to receive what is there, and then to look at the image, and then to look at the image in several different ways. And as I placed the image on my chest, I got a whole transmission. And so I am going to bring that transmission to you today in a way that I believe it relates to the energy of this collective. So, as with anything and everything I do, please take what resonates, leave the rest behind. Know that these messages are timeless, so if you are tuning in real time on Sunday, August 24th, fantastic, but you need not be. And if you're not seeing yourself here, if you're tuning in at a later date, you don't see yourself here, go ahead and turn me off, scroll down below. There are plenty of other messages, and there will be plenty more to come. I'm going to take one last sip of this latte. It's so good. I'm also rocking something else. I'm a many beveraged woman. They don't often appear here, but there's a lot in front of me today because it's hot outside. So, all right, here we go. So as I was placing this image, which I hadn't yet seen yet because it was divination style where she laid out the cards and we just picked one and then put it right to our chest, I heard the word Neshach, the Aramaic word Neshach. Now, those of you who have been with me long enough know that I am really super into the Aramaic language. I am into unscrambling and retranslating scripture in the original Aramaic. I don't translate, I don't have enough of a grasp of the language, but I have been studying the Aramaic Hebraic letters. I have been studying with a teacher who has a PhD on the subject, and I spend a lot of time with the language. And Neshach is the word for kiss. But it's not necessarily a kiss between lover and beloved, though it very much could be, and I did experience it that way as well. The word Neshach actually means a healing kiss, a ruach Elohim, the breath of God. It is a healing kiss. And back in the time of Yeshua, it was not, and actually this is across gurus, this is across Hindi, Indian, yogi, this is across faiths, this is across practices. It is a mystical practice to breathe your knowledge, to transmit your knowledge or your healing with your breath into your disciples. So Yeshua would have done it with the disciples, but it's also the healing exchange between a lover and a beloved, and very much a symbol of divine union. And I was experiencing the word Neshach as a little bit of both as I was holding this card to my chest. I also heard Neshama, which is the root of neshach, which is the soul, and neshima, which is the breath of life. And all of that moves into the energy of ruach Elohim. Ruha is the Aramaic, ruach is the Hebrew. Ruach Elohim is the breath of God. It is the healing breath that Yeshua would have passed along, a teacher would have passed along. And so I was just sitting with that. And the next thing I saw was Dana in the bedside of a woman who was in labor. So, one of my other lifetimes, I was a critical care nurse. I was never a labor and delivery nurse. That was never my role. But as a nurse working on an EMS helicopter, I needed to know how to deliver babies. I needed to know how to help women labor. I needed to spend time each quarter in the labor and delivery unit at our hospital, where I worked, but also where they trained us to keep our skills up to date. So I have witnessed the birth, I can't speak, of many, many babies, both by natural and assisted and cesarean and all the ways. And I saw a woman struggling to labor, and I can remember this exact conversation because I knew this for myself in my own labor with my son, whereby everything is tight. When a woman's labor lasts much longer, when everything is contracted, and if you could get her to open, everything relaxes, and of course the baby passes more easily. The contractions begin to be productive. And I can remember this conversation that I had with a couple. The woman was laboring and she was really scared, and of course the more scared you are, the more contracted you get. And I said to her, and I said to her husband, they were obviously really close. She was not like, get away from me. She really wanted him very present, and he was very present, and it was very beautiful. And I said to her, I said to them, a beautiful and deep kiss can open everything up. So if you are open to this idea, I will step out of the room and I am going to invite you to just really engage with one another in a kiss. And if you could imagine everything closed up like a flower bud closed up, and if you can kiss and kiss deeply, not pecks, but just really kiss like you mean it, everything will open up and bloom, and everything will be much easier. And they did. I stepped out of the room and I left them alone for a while, and I knocked on the door and I came back, and they both had very sweet little smiles on their face. And, she's still laboring, but the labor did become much more productive, and there was just a lot more touch, and there was a lot more opening. And I mean, that translates to sexuality as well. If you want your women to open, kiss her like you mean it, and everything will begin to open. It is an opening to receiving action, for sure, opening to receiving the breath. And it goes back and forth too, if we're going to look at it from a tantric perspective. The kiss opens and the man's energy goes out, the woman receives, and then she pours from her heart, and it outflows from her heart, and he receives. And that exchange of breath, that kiss, that ruach Elohim, that neshach, it opens everything and it creates the flow. And I flipped that card over, and what I saw was a beautiful tight bud and a beautiful blooming flower. And I was like, aha, here we are. And here we are because it brought me into what I think may be a relationship message. It may be a relationship channeling, but it may also be about your relationship with your own neshama, your own soul, and your own medicine for your own soul. So I want you to stay open here. If you're not hearing yourself in a relationship story, I want you to stay open to hearing yourself really being in deep connected relationship with your own energy and your own soul, because it does feel like there is an invitation to open up that tightly closed bud. There's beauty in the tightly closed bud, and what I'm hearing now is, it is the fertile darkness. It's the fertile darkness that I talked about in our climate change message. It is the fertile darkness that I often talk about all the time. It is that womb of creativity. It is it is the womb of compassion. It is the womb of creativity. It is the womb of fertility. And when it opens, it receives the light. And when it opens and receives the light, it comes into full bloom. And so that is very much present here. In terms of our relationship message, I can feel a longing, and the longing feels mutual. The longing feels mutual between two lovers who are separated. So I don't think this is necessarily about lovers who there has been a schism, but I don't think there has been an irreparable schism in this particular message. Stay with me though if you do feel like you have an irreparable schism, because I feel like if you do, it is going to be about your relationship with your own soul and your relationship with your own closed petals that want to bloom. So the feeling is that there's this deep longing. There's a deep longing for that neshach, for the kiss, for the healing kiss that brings your energies together and starts that creative flow. And there's a feeling that there is a sense of being cut off from your own heart space, your own tiferet, your own truth, and or one or both of you, and it has the sense that there's a mutuality here. So I want to bring that forward as well. There may be in the divine masculine and divine feminine, or we might be dealing with two feminines here or two masculines. It's not about gender, it's about energy. And so there's a feeling here that one or the other might be blaming the other or self for the schism. But what spirit is showing me is that this was a divinely appointed separation, and they are longing to come together for that healing breath. And ultimately that healing breath is what will be the blooming. It will like fertilize what is in the womb and allow the birth of the light, allow the birth of the blossom when they do come together. But this is very much an incubation period, and it is divinely appointed because there is a need to attend to the heart in the self. There's a need to attend to ferret and to understand and to have reconnection. And I'm hearing the word faith, which is not a word that I use here very often, so it doesn't feel like mine, but it is. Oh, and I'm seeing, oh, okay, I know why I'm seeing faith. I'm seeing the image of the Six of Cups. I'm seeing the image of the Six of Cups, but I'm seeing the image of the Six of Cups from a particular deck where it is called faith. And that is, the sixes are the heart, the sixes are Tiferet. The sixes do invite us after the fives, after the schism, after the coming apart. And I'm seeing like redwood forests burn, and it fertilizes the soil and the new birth can happen. I'm seeing where like destruction and like putrefaction had to happen. This relationship had to come apart so that the separate entities, the twos, could become one with self so that they could then come to union together. I think my son is calling me downstairs. I'm going to leave it. I can see where the schism has happened, and now there's a longing for the two of them to come together and have this kiss. There's the feeling of knowing and recognizing that there is deep healing in the exchange of breath, in the exchange between these two lovers, between these two beloveds. But what Spirit is showing me, and if you are not coming back to your beloved, if you have no desire to come back to your beloved, Spirit is showing me regardless, you're being invited to actually bring that longing for connection and to bring that unity and to bring the Ruach Elohim or Rucha Elohim, depending upon Aramaic or Hebrew, bring it back into yourself and really allow your own to come into connection with your own heart and your own soul, to bring these two together in divine marriage. And then the longing can happen, and what Spirit is the longing, the ending of the longing can happen, the coming together can happen. What Spirit is showing me is, again, and I think I said this already, but I'm repeating myself, which is how you know I'm deep. Spirit is showing me that this schism, this coming apart, was divinely appointed so that healing could occur in your own system, in your own beingness, and that the longing is part of the feminine energy that is that is your nature, whether you are masculine or feminine. Again, we all have both. And the longing is feminine. The longing for union is feminine. And then the birthing the into two, it's a continuous cycle. And the longing that you're feeling, whether you're masculine or feminine, is attunement to your feminine energy, and it is good. It is correct. It is in service of your healing right now. And what Spirit is showing me is that it is coming, that union is coming, that union with self has been in progress, that it has been a process, it has been ignited, and it has been ongoing, and both of you are doing it. Both of you are in union, and you are working on truly connecting with your heart. I can see where there's a tendency for overthinking in both these entities, where, and this is the very thing that Spirit is drawing my attention to. The disconnection is in the overthinking, and the truth is in the longing. So if you are feeling that longing and you're allowing yourself to feel the longing, that is how you actually know that you are coming into your heart space and that you're coming down into connectivity. If you're coming up in your head and you're disconnected, there may be stories about why you shouldn't be together, why you should never date again, why this is bad or wrong, why this is not for you. Like, all of the story that is coming from your mind, and it's coming, and it's not in connection with your heart. Because when you come down into your heart, masculine or feminine, when you come down into your heart space, you're going to feel that longing for union, and it's in that longing for union that you know that you are in the right place. And when you allow yourself to feel the longing, and when you allow yourself to love the longing just as it is, without it needing to be corrected from someone outside of yourself, so just to be with that feeling of longing and to hold it and know that it is correct and it is a part of your healing, and to ask yourself, to ask your heart, what is it that I need to heal in order to be able to come into union with myself? Like, show me what I need. And I feel like you're going to get imagery, you're going to get feelings, you're going to get a feeling in your body, and you're going to know what that is for you. For some of you, you're going to want to free write about what that is that wants to come forward, what it is that you need. First, I can see somebody like writing furiously, and that is the connected place. If you're feeling the longing and you're asking to be shown what it is that needs healing, for this longing to be requited, that is the answer. That is your medicine, and that is what is going to happen. And from there, if you are truly meant to come into union with this person, when the two of you have completed that cycle of really understanding that the longing is correct, it is not to be pushed away, it is not to be dismissed, it is not to be disconnected from, but it is meant to be embodied. That is when the two of you will come forward and connect. Until then, you are meant to continue to work this process of connecting with self and connecting with your own soul, to connecting with your own neshama, in order to really understand the healing that needs to happen in you before you can have that nishach, before that healing can be mutual and come together. I think that's what I have. I'm going to say thank you very much, and please like and share and hype and subscribe. Tell your friends, come back and see me. Tomorrow is Monday. I should be in here. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.